For everything there is a season and a time for every matter under the sun. Ecclesiastes 3:1-8. I love to be in my kitchen. It really is the heart of our home. This week I had to do a complete reset of the kitchen and get some things stocked back up. I started by cooking one of our farm-raised chickens. I popped it into the slow cooker overnight, then I air fried it the next morning. The meat fell right off the bone because it was so tender and juicy, and I will use that meat to make a homemade white chicken chili later on this evening. I also went ahead and reserved my chicken broth from cooking it in the slow cooker so that when I go to make my white chicken chili, I can add that really wonderful, nutritious broth back into the white chicken chili. I love having our own farm-raised chicken on hand. It has been such a blessing to grocery shop in our own freezer. I will link the video below of how we raised and processed our chickens, our meat chickens, if you would like to watch that. It just felt so good to get in the kitchen and get it back in order and get back on a good routine. We have recently started homeschooling, so our schedules have changed quite a bit. I look forward to sharing more of that with you all in the future. Part of the reason I shared the Bible verse with you all earlier in the video is because it does talk about seasons in life, and I think I've shared that with you all as well, that when we do go through different seasons, sometimes we're busier than usual and things happen, but there's a lot of different things that people are facing and they're going through different seasons in life, and I think if we can just kind of come alongside them and make them feel comforted and loved on, I think that it makes such a huge difference. I know that the reason I'm having to kind of reset my kitchen is because I'm in a different season of my life right now with homeschooling, and so getting my kitchen back on track and just kind of getting everything in order made me feel so much better. But we wanted to craft a little basket for my aunt and her husband, who are going to be spending some more time down here in Kentucky. They're from Ohio, but we just put together this little basket, and it's important to me for the kids to see us show kindness as parents and adults, and for them to be able to experience that as well and have fun getting to make something and craft something that they know is going to be a gift and kind of bring a little bit of happiness and love and light to someone else. And so that is also kind of part of the reason we decided that we wanted to go ahead and start homeschooling our children, and being able to instill those characteristics and those character traits in them at an early age is so important to us. And so we crafted this sweet little gift basket, and I really loved the way it turned out. It was super simple, had super simple things in it, didn't cost much money. It was just a little apple jam that had already canned up, a little thing of the homemade chocolate chip cookies, and a little potpourri jar that had some lemon, cinnamon, cloves that you can put on your stovetop and boil to make your home smell nice and cozy. So it doesn't take much to put a smile on someone else's face. This time of year, I love nothing more than to have some really good crusty bread around for all of the soups and stews that I love making. If you haven't seen my fall soups and stews video, I will link that below. But this homemade yeast bread is absolutely delicious and crusty and wonderful to dip in potato soup, beef soup, chili, anything. So like I said, I'm going to be making some white chicken chili for dinner, and I really wanted to have some really good yeast bread to go with it, and so I went ahead and got a couple of loaves of yeast bread made. And this is such a very simple recipe to follow. Anybody can make it. It's not difficult at all. I got into a phase of making sourdough bread, and I've kind of gotten away from it just because for me, this is just so much less time consuming and more simple. I know that a lot of people are really loving sourdough and making it, but for me, this bread is just simple to throw together. It doesn't take but an hour for it to rise, 30 minutes in the bowl after you mix it, 30 minutes in the pans before you bake it. So you can get it in the oven in an hour, and it only takes 40 minutes to bake. So in an hour and 40 minutes, you can have 2 delicious, wonderful loaves of crusty bread to go with your soup. So it can all be made within a day. And if you're wanting soup that night, if you have just a little bit of time to plan ahead, you can make this bread. If you want the recipe for this homemade yeast bread, I will go ahead and add this to the blog. I have been trying to add all of our recipes that I share in the videos to the blog. Just bear with me because it's kind of a slow process and I'm still learning, but it's www.thebluegrassfamily.com. So you can go there, and I plan to add all of these recipes slowly to the blog so that it's just easier access for you all that like to watch the videos and you want to make the recipes. You can go there and find them. I have wanted to make air fried stuffed mushrooms for some time now. I actually got this air fryer from my brother this past Christmas, and this has been on my list of recipes to try out since Christmas. Basically, I wanted to make stuffed mushrooms, but we just had everything on hand this week that I needed to be able to make these, and they were so very simple to make, require very minimal ingredients, and they were so delicious. They could serve as a whole meal with a salad. To me, I love them that much. I know mushrooms aren't for everyone, but if you like mushrooms, you definitely need to try this recipe out. I will put it on the blog hopefully this week as well, but you just stuff them with the stems. You chop the stems and you chop some garlic, saute that with a little seasoning and butter, and then you add that in with some cream cheese and some cheddar cheese, stuff them in your mushrooms, and then air fry them, and they were so delicious. We gobbled them down in absolutely no time. If we're eating out at a restaurant and they have stuffed or fried mushrooms on the menu, usually me and Dave always order them because we both love them so much. And so I think that whenever you learn to recreate a recipe at home that you really love, it just feels so good to be able to cook it from scratch. That's one of the reasons why I love getting in the kitchen and experimenting with different recipes and trying different things out to just kind of figure out what we really like to eat and be able to serve that at home. For one, it's just the feeling of satisfaction of knowing that you've learned to make a recipe that you really love and that your family really enjoys, and being able to have them and not have to leave the house and just have kind of a cozy night in enjoying a food that you love is so nice. But also just the affordability factor of being able to create these recipes at home, cooking from scratch, clearly saves money, and I think in the long run you'll see that if you do start to cook more food at home. And so that's the ultimate goal for me, is to just be able to create more food at home from scratch that is, for one, healthier for us, and two, food that we actually enjoy eating, and three, obviously, just the fact that it saves us money over time. And so we really enjoyed these, and like I said, it's the satisfaction of knowing that we got to create that at home. I hope you all enjoyed these from scratch recipes this week, and that you can go and implement them into your own kitchen and rotation and just food that you enjoy. We thank you all so much, like always, for following along with us here at the Bluegrass Family.